It's Friday, the Dirt Shed Show. No, that wasn't good. It's Friday, the Dirt Shed Show.
So you're probably wondering where I've been. Last week I was in Morgane, and this week I'm at a Scott product launch in Lenside. It's a hard life, eh? But someone's got to do it. Sorry Neil, you're stuck in the shed. Coming up on this week's show, we've got an in-depth look at what happened at Crankworx, and also a whole pile of tech stuff here at Scott and also from Crankworx.
And I'm stuck in the shed whilst Martin is at the No Barriers Summit in Colorado.
So let's kick off with the Crankworx and the slopestyle event. Well, it actually got cancelled in the end due to bad weather. The riders hadn't quite had enough time on the course, and Seminic wasn't really feeling that comfortable. Reports were going that he was only managing to just do a 360, as he do. But they changed it and it went to a best trick contest instead. Nikolai Rogatkin took the win. He threw down absolutely massive with that twister and he absolutely nailed it, got it perfect. But there was an attempt before that. He landed right on top of that landing, 50-50, and I want to know who is building his bikes, his wheels, and even his body. That was some impact that he just walked away from, went back up the hill and nailed it next time.
Going on from the embarrassing crashes you all sent in last week, we had loads, thanks a lot. We've got a new section in this week's Dirt Shed and it's called Fails of the Week. We've got a bonus 3 videos this week. Let's kick it off with this one from Alexei Kokorin. Right, what's going on here? Drop off. Oh dear, massive over the bars. Pretty big crash that. Looks like Alexei pushed his bum into the rear wheel. Massive crash, hope you're all right. Right, next one comes from Vodgta. Let's take a look. Looks like some sort of World War II bunker. Why not try and ride off it? Oh dear, another massive crash on a drop off. That looks pretty nasty. Oh, it says he broke his collarbone. Bummer, but it was winter, so he's okay. This one is from Hayden Jefferson. He lives in New Zealand and races cross country. It's in slow-mo. So far, so good. Looks pretty good. Nice position on the bike. Has to duck for the tree. What's going on here? Uh-oh. Massive over the bars. The worst thing about those crashes is quite often the bike whacks you on the back of the head. Thanks for sending those in. Send in your fails to dirtshed@gnbn.com and we'll try and feature them in the Dirt Shed. The winners of the Renthal unboxing, who all get a bar and stem of their choice, are Ryan Dick, Quincy Pelzers, Ayaka Voss, Zanikos and Sandercock. Well done everybody, and don't forget you can still enter this week's Lezyne GPS head units unboxing, so be in the chance to win one of those. We've got 25 of those to give away. The downhill race at Crankworx took place at Leger at the weekend. I actually raced there in 2004 at the World Champs and I loved the track. Really wide open. It looked like the track was actually quite similar but very wet. Scott, what was the course like?
It was tough. A lot of riders were actually coming down on the first few days of practice and were saying it was one of the best courses they've ridden in previous years. It was really fast, fun, big grassy open corners, but by race day there'd been a lot of rain and it really caused havoc on the course. It started to erode quite quickly, ruts were almost knee deep and you had to be really on your game to get down the course clean.
What happened in the race then, Scott?
Well, we saw the return of Fabien Barel racing that new Canyon Sender and he was on for a really good time. Unfortunately, right at the end though, he went outside a pole and got disqualified. But a name in the men's you might not have heard of who ended up 3rd place on the podium is Jack Moore. He loves being in Morzine and it really showed getting that 3rd place on the podium. Second was Brendan, but the winner was Remy Thirion. And Remy just put down a great run. It was almost untouchable compared to some of the other riders and had about a 3-second lead. In the women's, it was Morgane Charre and this was a return for her. She's a really great wet rider. We've seen her get the Leogang World Championships in 2012. Could she be one to challenge Rachel? We'll have to wait and see. Other events that took place whilst in Crankworx was the dual speed and style Daryl Brown, a UK rider, someone who I hadn't actually heard of, but he's a UK slopestyle rider, does pretty well and he's been in a few videos as well, but he actually took the win. He obviously loves doing a good tuck no-hander. He started off with a 360 and finished it with a backflip and that was enough to get the win against a tough field.
Comment of the week. Miles Fair sent us in this really cool picture of him wearing this super nice t-shirt with his GMBN beanie on. He's actually a previous comment of the week winner. Thanks for sending that in and glad you like watching the show. A really funny comment I picked up on this week is one from Trevor Zanella who said, "Damn Mark, back at it again with a crooked helmet." This is that video, How to Ride in the Heat, where Mark is wearing his helmet on the wong the whole way through the video.
It's time for the caption contest and this is a picture. So we had a lot of great comments, people suggesting, that I hadn't had my 60 to 80 grams of carbohydrates when I was out riding. Don't worry, I know that we're in the Alps, there's some big climbs here, tricky descents, so I have been eating them this week. I'm absolutely fine, no bonking going on. But the winner has to be Manny Elenez, and he says, Scott's face when Neil is riding the FATMOBILE. I like it, very good. That actually made me lol when I read it.
This week's caption photo is a picture of Martin and Steve P in the start at Fort William. Leave us your captions in the comment section down below this video for a chance to win a GMBN t-shirt.
It's time for Tech of the Week, and we're gonna go live to Scott. He's in Leger. Tech of the Week this week comes from Crankworx in Leger, and we're over at the Ergon stand, and they've got brand new grips that they've just launched. These are downhill specific. They've been developed with Fabien Barel and Tanny Seagrave. We've also seen Greg Manoy using them as well. It comes in two different sizes, a slim and also a regular. What's very different compared to other grips is that it's actually tapered. So right where you want it, right at the edge of the grip, it's really narrow so you can get that grip, but you've also got dampening properties at the end of it. Moving on from the grips, Ergon are really renowned for the contact points. They've got a downhill specific saddle. It comes in 3 different models. So you've got your base one, a chromo railed one, and for the weight weenies out there, you've got a titanium railed saddle. We're out here at the Scott product launch of these 2 brand new bikes, the Scott Scale and the Scott Spark. Looking at the Scale first, it's a full carbon hardtail. It weighs in at 849 grams, and it's got that boost technology, and it's been developed with Schurter. Moving on to the full suspension, that's the Spark. It's got 100 millimeters of rear suspension. It's a full carbon frame, even that top link is, and it shares a lot of the same technology as the Scale. Shout out. So I was hanging around a lot with the Scott bike crew, and Louis REBOUL was someone who really caught my eye when he was doing the whip-off contest. He was going absolutely massive, running back up to do it as many times as he could, and he put out this video of him actually riding in Leger and what a day in his life looks like. Looks pretty sweet to me.
My shout out for this week is the TRANS-PROVENCE, the race that's taking place at the moment. They put out a really cool video every single day after the race, little roundup of what's happened and a little interview with all the riders. Check it out.
Instabangerz this week, I'm really going to throw to 3 people that impressed me at the Crankworx in the speed and style and also in the downhill. Morgane, Charre, she took that win in the women's field and was super fast, so go and check her out. She's got some really cool behind the scenes and she rides for that Bergmont team. Jack Moir, known as Shark Attack Jack, he got 3rd place, coming back from a shoulder injury, and I hope to see him back in the World Cup. He rides for an intense factory racing program.
My Insta banger for this week is Iago Garay, the Spanish Santa Cruz rider who's racing the TRANS-PROVENCE at the moment. Some really cool pictures on his Instagram showing what he's getting up to at the race. Now it's time for the bike vault. Let's see what you guys have sent us this week. Right, first one is Paul Temple, that fat bike, rigid, fully carbon, pretty trick fat bike. I must say I like that one. Michael Paulik, this is in Bavaria, looks really cool, doesn't it? That looks like a Canyon Spectral to me. Give that a super nice. Terence Sutton, 1993 Cannondale, retro, massive saddlebag on there, bar ends. Give that a nice. Kristen McClure, Peak District UK, nice scenery. Yeah, let's give that a nice. This one's coming from Denmark, Mads Peter Nygaard. Looks pretty flat. I don't know if Denmark is totally flat, but give that a nice. Kevin Peter in Cyprus, Limassol in Cyprus. Look at that, what was that? An on one, fully rigid, got a drop post. Looks pretty cool, like it. Whoa, look at this one, coming from Russia. This is Mark Kontenko. What is that? It is a sort of dirt jump bike with street tires on it. Quite a few accessories. Looks pretty crazy, like the ultimate commuter bike to me. Alex E in Chatel. What's that? Mondraker. Looks wet, it's been really wet in the Alps recently. Super nice. Jessica Fan, oh look at this. This is in Marin, California. I'd love to ride out there myself. Give that one a super nice. Peter Anderson, what's that, Yeti? Cool, don't know where that is. I really like that bike, looks trick, really nice. All carbon, black, give that one a super nice. Whoa, Frank Fitzpatrick, got a Canyon Sender in red. Like Martin's bike, but in red. Love that. Give that a super nice. Jim McEwen, like the scenery. Vitus bike, cool, like that. Whoa, look at this picture. This has come from Adam McAllister. It's in Canmore, Alberta. Really like what we've done with the picture. Black and white set for the pink stuff. give that one a super nice. That comment style? Thanks for sending in your bikes. We love seeing them. Send them to dirtshed@GMBN with Bike Vault as the subject of the email. That'll give us more chance to see them. Hacks and bodges. Right, the first one comes from Tom Pearson, and he thinks he's found the best use for old inner tubes, and that is as a dog's play toy. Looks fun, but it looks like someone's going to get smacked in the face and in the hand when you let go of one end of the inner tube, but a good idea. I reckon my dogs will be pretty into that. We've got a couple of homemade bike stands this week. It seems like everybody that watches the show makes their own bike stands, but pretty ingenious actually. This one is from Alan Paulin, the first one. Just made out of timber. It looks pretty simple. It says it's really good for washing his bike. I like that. Clever. Next one is really simple. Some Carolus Borcatus. He's just using a rake and 2 nails to hold up his bike. It looks really good for actually sort of working on your bike, doing your gears. Ingenious, that one, nice one. And the last hack and bodge comes from Keelan Ross, who's having trouble sealing one of his tyres because air was leaking around his valve. So he's cut up an old tube, poked the valve through it to make a tighter seal. Like that, I might have to try that one myself. I've done that myself where your sort of rim tape gets cut a little bit too big. Perfect.
Trail the pin.
The first pin this week comes from Jeff Walsh, and this is Ontario, Canada, Kelso Quarry in Milton. Let's have a look at this. Nice, looks really dry. I guess this must be summer in Ontario. Nice swoopy turns up and in the leaves. This looks like a really cool sort of cross-country trail up and down the sort of hillsides using the banks. Really like the look of this trail, looks super fun. The next pin was sent in from the Downhill Boys, Ryan Smith and Charlie Misdeal, and this is Signal Hill, Dunedin, New Zealand. Let's take a look. This looks awesome. Some really cool jumps in this trail. I think this might be home to Justin Leov, apparently. You can see why the good riders come from around here. Really cool trail. There's loads of jumps and berms in it. So Ryan's doing the filming, Charlie's out front. This place looks absolutely amazing. I've never actually ridden in New Zealand, but this makes me really jealous. Right, there's a few in New Zealand now. Need to get over there and check them out ourselves. Love seeing your pins, so keep sending them to dirtshed@gmbn.com.
So coming up on the channel, we've got one exciting week for you. I'm going to kick it off with Saturday. I've got a pro bike check with Troy Brosnan, that pink demo that he was running, and I'm looking a bit sunburnt. That pink fluorescent colour, it's not doing anything for my skin tone. On Sunday, we've got a robot bike check. That's that prototype bike that you may have seen we talked about in tech a few weeks ago. On Monday, it's Mechanical Monday, and it's how to fit handlebars. On Tuesday, we've got 6 different ways to try and make your bike silent. For me, one of the most annoying things is a noisy, clanging bike. So I've used a whole pile of hacks, which I really enjoy and I've learned from my pro racing over the years. And on Thursday is Ask GMBN. On Friday, of course, I'm back in the shed. Neil's back as well. Martin's away on holiday, but it's a Dirt Shed show! Well, that's it for another week of the Dirt Shed show. It's time for me to head back, and next week I'll be back in the shed. If you're wondering why we have been here, why not check out this first look just up there of the scale and also the spark, or you can check out Bath Uni, does saddle height really matter, just down there. Don't forget to click on the globe to subscribe, and if you're here and got the time, then check out the shop, where you get to get some GMBN merchandise like this t-shirt.